This video is sponsored by sellcashier.com. They compare iPhone prices on the internet and give you their instant quote and the most cash for your iPhone. Hey guys, this is Ed with Aquarium. So the iPhone 10 has now been officially on sale for the last couple of weeks, but at the time of this video, the iPhone 10 is completely sold out in every Apple store that's around me. This means that you have to wait for a couple of weeks when the supply catches up with demand so you can order your own. What I did is I pre-ordered this particular one on the very first day when they became available for pre-ordering. Now keep in mind that Apple is not a company that experiments a lot and tries out new things. Larger screens, OLED panels, 12 megapixel camera, edge-to-edge displays, wireless charging, and this list can really go on forever, but Apple was never the first company to try a lot of these things. Now regardless of which technological aisle you associate with, remember that Apple is never the first to experiment. Now their goal is to offer prime time devices that are immensely scalable and also economically feasible. Now without further ado, let's get into it and unbox this creature. As always, it's a very nicely made box with some very promising contents this time around. I'll tell you why I'm so excited to take a look at this particular device. And before I even say anything, we're gonna turn it on and set it aside. And the contents are pretty standard: headphones and your charging accessories. So nothing new there. But wow, look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at the screen. Look at the screen and look at the shape. Look at the frame. Look at the glass backing. It looks absolutely amazing. So I'm going to quickly set it up so we can get our first impressions out in front of the camera. So what you're seeing on your screens right now, it's telling you briefly how to operate this new interface that no longer has the button. So you basically swipe up from the bottom of the screen, and depending on which direction you move your thumb into, then that will determine which action this phone actually will perform for you. And you can also swipe down, so this is a very good visual explanation of how things will happen, but we'll just figure out on our own a lot of these things, and in 2 weeks you will see another video that I'll post that will be essentially a full review of this phone. And here it is. So I think the hard controls are fairly standard all across these devices, no matter if there's a button or not and what model that is. The power button on the right hand side of the device is actually a little bit wider now, and your volume controls and the silencer is all on the left as always. But the screen is extremely impressive. So I'm going to turn up the brightness so we can see a little bit better. And this is what we're doing. We're swiping up from the bottom of the screen and we're coming back to the home screen. So this is a 5.8 inch OLED display. It is a multi-touch with a fairly high resolution. As you can see in the back, glass design just like on the 8 that was recently released as well. So the frontal camera is a 7 megapixel camera, which is right there, hiding right next to the speaker. It is a true depth camera with a portrait mode and portrait lighting. You can get any emojis on this phone, and the rear camera offers portrait lighting, so this is why you have the second camera module on here on the back. And obviously Face ID, so that's pretty new. We're going to test it out in the full review of this iPhone in 2 weeks. And also, of course, comes with the wireless charging, and Apple claims that the battery on this iPhone will last up to 2 hours longer than the iPhone 7 battery. But let's say we have two things open in the background, and this is how we come back to the list of open apps. Very interesting, something that will again probably take some time to get used to. Should you be upgrading from another phone? If you're really trying to spend that much money on a 10, it really depends on what you currently have. Of course, if you have something really old, if you have a 5S, you have a 6, yeah, possible if you're willing to spend that much money. I think that this is an overkill. This is too expensive, even though it's really nice. You're gonna spend all that money. If you do have a 7, or an 8, I think you're really maxing out on performance, visible performance to, you know, for an average phone that you'd be using every single day for making phone calls, browsing the web, maybe watching YouTube videos. But paying this much money for this particular phone, I think it is an overkill. But so no button. I don't think I ever mentioned this before, but I never liked the button, which is why one of the reasons I actually don't like using an iPhone on a daily basis. For me, it is very exciting to see that Apple finally tried it. And this iPhone really brings about a completely new way of navigating through the iOS 11, which, by the way, is a very nice update. So there are a couple of things you can do differently here when you swipe down from the top of the screen. You can swipe down from the corner, from the right upper edge, and this is, you get the little shortcuts. If you come back out of this and you swipe down from middle, you essentially lock your screen. Very nice feature. That I certainly like. So very nice bezels, very nice frame, very nice glass backing. Now, what is really the first impression of whether there are good things or bad things about it? Well, the cons are that new interface brings about major adjustments in accessibility. So again, the control center is harder to reach, and it will take some time for apps to get optimized for that notch screen at the top part of the phone. So right there, we might see initially some imperfections, but hopefully that'll be fairly quickly adjusted by the app producers. Now, of course, the iPhone is very expensive, like I said before, let alone that it is a lot of glass, and that will probably prompt one to buy a nice case and possibly insurance to carry on this phone in case anything happens to it, if there's physical damage, if there's water damage. On the other hand, it is a great blend of handheld comfort and a big, gorgeous screen. In 2 weeks, in the full review of the iPhone 10, I will test the rear telephoto camera in low light and the front camera with a portrait selfie. Now, Face ID will also be put into the test, and so I'm hoping that these features will also become pros of the iPhone 10. Now again, if you ask me if I would upgrade from the iPhone 7 Plus to the iPhone 10, probably not, and it is mostly based on the iPhone 10's expensive price tag, but it's just me. So please let me know in your comments down below if you would upgrade to an iPhone 10 and why, and if not, then tell me why not. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. I wanted to tell you about sellcashier.com. So you just got your new iPhone. What will you do with your old one? You may be thinking of selling it on eBay, Craigslist, and so on, and it is definitely a hassle. Now you don't have to do that. Now you can sell it through sellcashier.com. They compare the actual prices of iPhones and give you the best price for your iPhone that you are trying to sell. And the good thing is that you are guaranteed the best rate. You also get a free shipping label. Thank you for watching, and please check out sellcashier.com.